everybody, Goosebumps for Dummies here, and today we are going to be talking about a very niche subject. Before I even say what it is, you probably read the title anyways. Here's a reprint. I want to clarify before I even dive in. This is reprint. Alright? A reprint, in my eyes, is a republishment of a previously published work. And I don't mean a later printing of that, since it's already, consistently being pumped out in the factory. No, I mean a literal re-release of it. This is a reprint from Goosebumps. There's also the classic reprints, and there's special releases like the Target editions, and so on. Now, we're going to be talking about those today, but not just in general. We're going to be talking about some of the absolute rarest of them. For some reason, there's a good few that are actually insanely hard to come across in the wild. And when I say come across, I mean that in a literal, real-life sense. I'm not talking about rarity online, because obviously a lot of these are not going to be very hard to find online. Because if you're familiar with anything about collecting, these aren't hard to come across at all, except for one or two of these. I'll point them out when we get to them. But some of these just aren't able to be come across in the wild, I mean, in real life. Online, easy as hell. In real life, have good fucking luck. Especially my personal experience with all of these. In fact, I think I had to buy every single one of these online, which is just depressing. In fact, I don't even own all of these. There's free today that I don't even own, so that's why I'll be showing images. So yeah, what are we talking about? Rarest Goosebumps reprints. Like I said, these things are super rare, and they're reprints. It's a very niche topic, and one that's rarely even brought up, probably for good reason. There's not a lot to be said past the fact that why are they so rare, and personal experiences. Before I dive in, please leave your own thoughts on these picks down below, and tell me what you think are some of the more rare ones in your experience. Now let's dive in, starting off with one I don't own, actually. My best friend is invisible. I can't even express how unpopular the story is in itself, and that is the sole reason I believe this reprint is so rare, apart from the lack of printings of it. There's probably not very many out there in general. If I had to bet, it's probably not even in the 100,000s. Definitely way less if I had to bet. It's not like there's many of these left in circulation, nor was there a lot in circulation to begin with. The original book, it quickly became one of just the many forgotten pieces of the original series, and of Goosebumps as a whole. So it being reprinted, and having less printings, it was bound to be extremely rare in the future. And yeah, I don't even own it. And it's really cheap online too, last I checked, but I just don't own it because I haven't bothered to, because I feel like I'll probably find it one day, or I'll give in and buy it. I'm not really worried about it, but very rare. Now getting into stuff I own. What the hell am I picking up? You might not be able to tell, but this is a Target edition release of The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. These came out for the 2015 Goosebumps film, and there were 5 of them. You probably already know them. There's Dummy 2, Shocker on Shock Street, Love It Everyone, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, and this one. Now, I bring this one up is because I have actually found the other 4 in real life, some of them multiple times. Not even kidding. Actually, I think all of them more than once. They're not insanely uncommon, but this one I actually had to buy online, and from what I know, like, no one ever finds this one. It's always one of the other ones. And the reason probably is because this guy wasn't even in the promos for the film, and whilst it is a popular book, they weren't even really in the movie. They were there, but they were, a background monster, and they had, like, no recognition in the film. Maybe a scene was cut or something, but of all picks, this one just wasn't it. They should have reprinted Abominable Snowman. That's all I'm going to say. Either that or Werewolf. Because those were way more prominent. This was just not the one to choose, sadly. Now for a probably personal pick, Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, classic reprints. Let me tell you, my experience with this one, point blank nothing. I have never been able to find it, whilst I've seen it at, school libraries before. There's not a lot past that with my actual, experience with this. In fact, I just got this year. I think it was right before school went out, for, June. And it's like, why? This is a very popular book in the franchise. Not like Haunted Mask, but it's like, this is one of the earlier ones, and it's one of the more recognizable ones. So the fact that it's reprints is so hard to find for me makes no sense. I want to know if this is just like a personal bad luck thing, because this one's so rare for no reason. I really cannot tell you why. I have no clue. But for this one, I have a good few clues. Now, before I even show it, you're probably not going to know what the hell I'm showing up, unless you're very familiar with this franchise. You might be confused already. What the hell, Yonce, is that, Alexander? Well, this is actually a reprinting of the It Came From Ohio book, which is Stine's autobiography in relation to Goosebumps. Yeah, it got reprinted with a Brandon Norman cover art. Don't ask why. I don't really know why they did it, but not only is that book really rare in the wild, not like rare or even expensive online. I mean, it's like $20 expensive last I checked. It's like that book just didn't have a lot of sales. It wasn't as popular as a regular Goosebumps book, so reprinting this was already weird enough. But it's just a random, hard to even tell what it is at a distance, really weird release. And I think it's just an accumulation of how the book looks. It's a great cover, but from a distance, really blurry. You can't even tell what's going on like this, where it's like clearly a figure in a hallway. My lighting is ass, sorry, but yeah, if it was lighting better, you could really tell. This one, it's like, what the hell's going on? You have to really get up there and look. It's like, this is a mess. You can't even tell what it is from a glance. I came from Ohio. Oh, R.L. Stine autobiography. And let alone, it had no Goosebumps branding on it at all, aside from this, which isn't even the logo. So, it's just the words. What the hell? So yeah, that one just failed sheerly because of the weird look and unpopularity of it. And just the obscurity of it. So, like, no one talks about it. It's such a random reprint. And now for one that is probably another hot take. Not even that these are, like, takes, but these are just personal things. Night of Living Dummy 2000's reprints. The OG original book. I actually have found this book, as in story, so many times. I have probably 10 of the original version of it and 20 of the classic reprints. I'm not even kidding. That's probably real numbers there. Or at least very close. I find those way too often, especially the classic reprints. However, 2000's reprints, nothing. I have never even seen it in real life, not even at a library, and I have never actually encountered it, period. In fact, I've heard people tell me that this one is one of the more rare ones. And the only reason as to why I think this is so is surely because people don't want to get rid of it. That's it. It's a really good looking book. Either that or it's just, low printing number. This is just one of those that I just can't ever find. This next one I want to mention briefly. This is the penultimate one, by the way. This one really says why it's so rare on the cover. But I don't think anyone really knows what I'm about to hold up here. It's a really obscure little item. Welcome to Dead House Collector's Edition reprints. This came out right before the Horrorland series dropped in February of 2008 and piloted both classic Goosebumps and the recent ones we've been getting, with it having the Jacobus cover art. I'm not even kidding. This thing's really cool. It even came with a poster, which is probably why you never find it. People probably kept it. Of those who were actually able to find this thing. Because my theory is, A, it really didn't probably have a lot of hype. Only with the mega fans, they probably knew this thing came out. Because a lot more people were mostly honed in on the new series coming out. And B, it's a collector's edition. It probably didn't have very many printings, so it kind of says it in itself. It's very self-explanatory. Just not a lot of printings came out for this solely because it's a collector's edition. It's got to be rare. But that's not the rarest of Goosebumps. Not even close. You can actually get that online for pretty cheap last I checked. This guy, the final one we're bringing up today, isn't even online. I didn't even mention it, I don't think, but this guy right here goes for about $20-25. Sorry, I think I neglected to mention that earlier. Now, this one doesn't have a price because it's not even online. I'm not even kidding. The Tales to Give You Goosebumps book free, even more Tales to Give You Goosebumps reprints. Not the bind-up with 30, not the original, the reprint. It looks like this. Why? I don't even know why this one's so rare. But if I had to guess, it's just sheerly because it's so old. I believe this came out in the 90s. These were like the earliest reprints ever, or re-releases. Either that, or it's just because the book wasn't very popular. From what I know, the spin-offs of Goosebumps, especially Tales and Triple Header, weren't the most popular. I know the UIGs were, but other than that, who the fuck remembers Presents? You know what I'm talking about? This kind of stuff wasn't the biggest thing. And these, I believe these reprints actually dropped solely because, so you can buy the book without having to buy the whole thing. The whole set that it usually came with. That's why these reprints came out. Except they trying to change it up with book 6. But either way, I don't know why, but this one's just unbelievably rare, and I can't really find it online. Please, Share a link below if you can find one that's cheap, or at least a good deal, because I believe there's some online, but they're not cheap, from what I recall. But yeah, that is the rarest Goosebumps reprints, and a bunch of other ones that are quite rare too, whether they're expensive or not. Either way, these are my personal picks for the rarest Goosebumps reprints. Leave yours down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.